everyone. Okay, so we're going to start the chakra cleansing, purging, restarting is what I want to say. It seems to be a program that is going to restart our new chakra system. So we're still going to be focusing on the main 7, and we're going to be focusing on the root chakra today. And it's just to bring new stability into your new self. So because we're letting go of the old, enabling us to be stronger in our new self. So we're just going to clear our energy. So the root chakra is all about stability and support, structure, community, relationships, finances. It can be your hobbies and your work. Now, those tend to add frequencies from different chakras once we find passion and purpose in something that we're wanting to do. But the stability of it, or the foundation of which we set it at, is at the root. And if you don't have a strong root chakra, then everything else will just be like a tumbling tower. And it won't take much to get off of alignment. We are here on earth, therefore we have to be grounded and stable, set. You know, when you sit, you pull your butt cheeks out and you're sitting in that pose. What is that? Not Siddhasana. Anyway, easy pose, I think. And you're sitting there, you're grounded, you're rooted in, your spine is straight, your chakras are aligned. And just by putting that energy forward, understanding that by starting in a firm foundation, everything else is just going to fall right in place. You know, if you're doing balancing of stones, you know, is what I'm being shown. You know, anything that's impossible can actually be very possible if you take the time to build the foundation upwards, right? So what she's bringing in right now is she's bringing in like a code to remove things that aren't of firm foundation through all of your chakras. So it's almost like Humpty Dumpty falling down, and then, you know, Humpty Dumpty will never be the same, but Humpty Dumpty will never be sitting on a faulty wall again, because the structure that we're going to build so that when we stand on top, we're not having fear, because fear's in our root as well, right? We have to eliminate those fears in order to move higher, succeed higher, ascend higher. So just deep breathe. If you have a candle, it's always good to have a candle or something present that is of the elements. If it's water, if it's rose petals in a bowl, something that can have vibrational frequency with you when you're working on self-worth. It's like it's an element of assistance, and it's important to bring those elements in. And also by doing this, I just feel the air coming off too, and my candle is like, you know, from the air of the movement. So if you don't have fire or water, you can always do the movement, right? Or you could be sitting on the grass right now doing this root alignment, root stability. So I'm just going to be sitting up cross-legged on my little chair here, so it might take me a second to adjust. Okay. So they have me in Lotus Pose. So Lotus Pose, you have your feet up on your lap. And, you know, some people say it has to be done this way. For my advice for anybody is feel what makes your spine straight for you, as well as what is most comfortable. Now, if it's more comfortable because you're shifted forward, then you're going to want to realign and have a little bit more discomfort and do it more often to come in this pose of Lotus Pose with the feet up. A lot of people can't do it for long. If it's hurting your ankles in any way, just go in a normal easy pose. And breathe into the root. Okay, so we're going to bring dragon power in, red dragon. It's just going to go around in the root chakra. The dragon is very good at cleaning out density, right? And these new chakra codes that we're going to bring in is not for density. It's for lightness. It's for infrastructure of lightness, right? More of Aquarius type of structure. Light on your feet. So I'm also being shown a really funny creature. He looks kind of like an ostrich with a long neck and then the head, but the head has some sort of like a dinosaur lifted thing on it, and it's just kind of a weird creature going on in the root. So I'm shown that he is here for fear. So it's almost like the ostrich buries his head in the sand, but with this thing, it's almost, I don't want to say unable to, but it's almost like a different type of structure on the head rooted in the root. One sec. There's actually a lot of dinosaurs being shown in the root chakra right now, and they're representing density, old ways of being. Even the red in the root chakra right now is quite dull and off, a little hellish looking, and these fossilized ancients are being uprooted right now. So they're just tapping the tops of my feet. So if you're in lotus, you can do that. Or the bottom of my feet on my lotus pose. So the ostrich character is still there, and I'm not really understanding what it's representing, but it's definitely still being focused upon. The head is really funny. It's something about the ostrich can't fly. Which is so interesting because the top of the head of this ostrich is aerial. What do they say? Like, you know those helmets that you would, where to assist the wind. That's what the head of the ostrich looks like now. So it's almost like it's like adjusting to its environment. You know, it's evolving. Boshina makatira kotokotana makataye tu sanamashi tu katanamashi atekata do the katagate kotodo shikapakataria tokata shikatokotakaria to katakata shikapakatira kotokata yata. Okay, we all adjust. And it's very aerial, so it's very very that of air. And the root chakra is very rooted, you know, it's very earthy, and the density is being removed at this time. So we're needing to adjust and evolve to our surroundings, including the mountains, and these things are adjusting as well. So keep that in mind, that it's not so within, so without, right? The upheaval that we're feeling within ourselves is also happening on the planet, with other people, with the forest, with the volcanoes, with the oceans. All this stuff is changing, and we must adapt to those changes. And a lot of us are experiencing physical changes, you know, where this ostrich now has maybe there won't be sand for him to bury his head in. Maybe he was actually hiding his hot head from the sun, but now he doesn't need that because he's got these aerial dynamic positioning on his head where he doesn't need to keep that placement. He doesn't have to hide from the sun. He doesn't have to hide. He doesn't have to hide. In the root, right? We don't have to hide. It's okay to and it's to do with ancestors too, with the dinosaur representation too. These fossils coming up to be our wisdom, our history coming up. We're not burying our head in the sand anymore as much as we are upheaval. It's almost like found treasures, when we discover the pyramids or the Sphinx and stuff. We're not hiding our heads in the sand. We're not suppressing what we know our truth to be. It's rising up to the surface. And for this to be structures also, who knows, maybe that is somewhat of a premonition of more things to be discovered at this time. And to open our heads up to that possibility, because the more we project things like, oh, they're never going to tell us the truth, then that's what we as a collective manifest, and the more of us that understand the truth, and it doesn't matter if they hide it from us or not, we know the truth. It doesn't matter if we can prove it or not, we know this truth. And there's something about the aerial dynamics, whatever that is. I just keep hearing that word, and it has to do with the head or the crown chakra. And I think this is also of what we're perceiving our chakras to be working for us. A lot of us are getting rid of jobs that aren't serving us, unhealthy relationships, fears. We're facing fears. We're diminishing fears. Insecurities. We're just, that feeling better about ourselves. All those things are coming into place, and we've been doing that in a small collective, but we do feel the numbers growing that are choosing to not live such a society-filled life. We don't really need to, and so these new structures that are coming up, they're being built from the bottom, but they're also with the top in mind. There is an outcome of a desired world that we desire. There's a reason why we are rebuilding who we are. so that if we do so, we have a hope for a future. And there is this being represented that what was before buried in the sand is now standing straight and aligned and has aerial dynamics, has just been said again. So I'm going to put my feet down and just sit straight now on that chair. Put that down. So they just said drop down into your belly. So I'm just going to drop into the belly, which is going to be around the sacral chakra. And then we're going to root that into into the root chakra. Now it does feel like I just dropped from my head chakra into my tummy, and we're just going to settle into the root. You have to have an outcome in mind when you are focused on the infant structure of what you're building towards. So you have to have something in mind in order to manifest it. Okay, we're just going to drop into the root now. So just embody yourself there. Put your inner child there. Be with your inner child. Just be with one another. Like, embrace your whole self. You're surrounded by dinosaurs and histories on this planet. Many of you have lived many lives here, mystics and shamans, and you understand the vibration of the world. You're here not by mistake. You've been chosen to be here during this time for your expertise, your wisdom, your knowledge. She say, like, I know so many of you want to awaken more deeper. Your heritage is in your root. The fear hides your wisdom, your knowledge, your history. The fear covers it in the sand. Drop down deeper, deeper. Okay, we're going to bring in a beautiful, beautiful, iridescent, luminous type of red, glowing energy, mist. It's very bright. It's so full of love. That's what your root needs, is love. It's bright, bright as the sun. This red is bright as the sun to illuminate the fears so you can see them. Look in the shadows. Don't fear them. What is lurking there? Are there spiders? Are you afraid of heights? Is there trauma? Guilt? Shame? Has there been a lot of pain in your body? Has there been a lot of death in your physical world? Has there been a lot of disappointments? A lot of disappointments in the root. We just kind of bury them. We bury a lot of things from the other chakras. We hide them in the root chakra. We just don't think anybody's going to look here. We're not going to look here. Why would anybody else look here? We'll just hide it in the root. Below the cement of the foundation of what we build on top of it. It's like a grave site of pain and suffering and disappointments. We're just going to break that structure. We're just going to have a full new slate. So do shiga ya do ha chika tika tika to shika kachi tika 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 to shika kachi tika 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 to Okay, so they're bringing some sort of cool machine in. It's almost like those ones that take x-rays of the dinosaur bones under the surface. And we're just going to kind of, I don't know what that is, like a x-ray vision of the ground beneath you. And maybe you'll get some insights. Just look around. Is it just old pain, past lives? Is there anything of salvage, needing to salvage something that is deep under? Is there a memory of a parent? Is there a memory of a teacher? Is there a memory of an earthquake or a fire? Is there any ruins that are needing to be preserved at this time? Any fossils that might bring the new structure? You know, sometimes we can have a warranted achievement of sorts, and we can mount it on the wall of our new structure as something very wonderful that we overcame, just something that we achieved. It's, you know, we don't want to suppress those monumental achievements either. Maybe what we achieved wasn't accepted by civilization or something, but it was of great achievement, and we suppressed it because of shame and not wanting to be better than other people and not wanting to shine our light, when, you know, our light is here to shine. And if people have envy or jealousy, you know, it's not apparent, is what it just said. So I'm being shown ammonite. My friend introduced me to these beautiful resin shells, snail-looking shells, ammonite. Sorry if I'm not saying it right. So, but I'm being shown those fossilized treasures, and you know, it looks like the golden ratio, which is found in all nature and stuff, the Fibonacci sequence, and meaning that everything has law and order and purpose to it, and all these ancient things that we've done in our life have been preserved in the most needed way, and they're not meant to stay under the sand or under the fears of people's opinions or, you know, judgments. We just set them free. They're their own structure. They're their own entity. They're their own being of Akashic, you know, of imprint in the Akashic space of memory. So set it free, just like the pyramids and the Sphinx. You know, if they could have built sand over and over, trying to hide something there. Similar to Florida, they keep bringing sand into that peninsula. So there's a big monument. I see like the pyramids, and I see Anubis, I see the Sphinx, and there's a new structure being shown there, and it's just being like fully, I can barely see it. It could be a phoenix or a wing of some sort, and the sun is just shining upon it so brightly. So it's very Isis energy. So she say like feel the energy of the wing. There's a lot of air coming in. Feel the energy of the wing, to rise up above the structure of density. There's really a polarity of dense earth rooted into as a feather, light as a feather in the root. So we are definitely removing density in our root chakra. So we're just going to bring the dragon in. Besh dish baush gish wash. So this is a serpentine. He has no wings. He's very serpent-like, snake-like. So he's just going through the sands of the root chakra. Just what happens when you break up sand. If it's condensed really tight or there's water impacted in it and you just kind of go through it, it crumbles, it becomes light. It's just going through the sand of your root chakra, just surfacing things that need to be surfaced, dense energy that's low in the chakra. And we're just going to fill those areas with love. Love is light as a feather. Bush, dush, gaush, besh, gush, gamash, gisnamo, chow, kyorash, desegashao. So he's above now. He's very, very similar to snake energy. I keep seeing people on Instagram posting the reptilians with the deep state and stuff, and they're still blaming. They're still blaming outside of themselves, and that's fine. We all have to go through these processes on our journey, but I can definitely tell you the reptilians are not the enemy. The enemy is very much here in this dimension, and it's an energy that consumes certain aspects of us in this power. And we've seen that in Lord of the Rings and stuff, that power for one's own success. It's a very powerful frequency, and we've all, in some way or another, gotten lost in it. And I always feel for the reptilians, because the snake beings that I've interacted with, they're beautiful. They're just beautiful. They're nothing like the Hillary of this planet or anything like that. Just that frequency of control over others. They don't have that frequency. They are bringing the serpent into reference here. So the serpent is being actually highlighted in the frequency of what the serpentine can engulf, the power that it can engulf because of the purity of its strike, is what I want to say. So For example, it's the same with let's say the Dragon Queen from Game of Thrones, is that power she could harness and deliver it in the right place. But once that power was used in, I want to say, resentment or in vengefulness, then it was soon taken from her. And the snake, the kundalini, the energy, this was harnessed in ancient Egypt. They have like hieroglyphs with these snake of energies that create energetic fields, and this is being very represented in the root. So when we have fear stuck in our root, when we decide to hide our head in the sand, turn a cheek or a blind eye to knowing what is surfacing around us, we can't build a structure if we still have that fear of confrontation, fear of going out of our comfort zone, fear of a traumatic memory about to resurface again. We can't build on top of that anymore, because we have to be as light of a feather on our root chakra now. The sands have been overturned, which is beautiful, but like in Minecraft, if you build a sand castle out of sand blocks, they'll fall. If you knock one piece of sand out of a structure, the whole thing collapses. And it's almost Jesus walk on water energy is what they're wanting to place in this root, and you need to be ready for that. So if you are experiencing still fears of going out of your comfort zone and stuff, you might not be able to restructure your new foundation just yet, but keep that in mind. With doing this stuff too, things will come up to the surface that we are meant to deal with. And, even the reading that I did today with the confrontation and stuff like that coming forth, it's happening a lot. And I can see with this Mercury retrograde, it's going to be really intense for a lot of people. I just saw 32. 5, right? So the dragon is it's just cleared out the sands below your root chakra. And it's almost like a Gandhi pose is what I'm seeing hovering above the sands in the root. So it's definitely a lighter energy, one of levitation, but anchored in at the same time. So keep that in mind. It's going to be much more lighter, especially if it's this light of energy happening in our root. You can only imagine how high we can fly once we go up in the other chakras. So we're just going to be bringing in a love code now, because we're going to be incorporating the heart into all our chakras. And so we're just going to bring that in. Still focus this beautiful glowing red in the root chakra. Now you can either picture a green dragon about to fly around in the root, or you can just put green energy in the root. It will look like Christmas, a little red and green. serpentine and a green serpentine in my root chakra, and now they're going up the 7 chakras like the kundalini. So just bring that energy from the root up into the crown. So we're just gonna probably be doing this all the way through the chakra activations, I believe. So just go into your root and bring up those dragon energies of green and red, going up, 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 just feeling stability of light as a feather, less density, which means what's density? Shame, pain, guilt, fear, all of that. So less density is being gifted to your other chakras so that the crown has a purpose of what needs to be coming forth in the coming weeks. We have this purpose coming forward of we desire to feel lighter, feel better, feel these changes within us. Okay, you guys, have a wonderful day or night, and I will see you soon.